gorgeous Saturday afternoon in the Bay Area. ACC basketball from a rockin' Haas Pavilion, and a huge matchup for Cal and Stanford here in Berkeley this afternoon. With right now both teams, according to Joe Lunardi, on the outside looking in as far as the NCAA tournament goes. Abuka Okori, one of the top scorers in the country, the freshman leading the Cardinal, along with the senior Benny Geeler. On the other side for Cal, their backcourt's going to have a lot to say this afternoon as well, with Dana Ames and Justin Pippen, as Cal won at Stanford earlier this season, looking for the first series sweep of the Cardinals since 2009 and 2010. Along with Ben Braun and our ACC Network crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And both teams, Ben, look, it's not a must-win game, but it's a game that both teams really need.
Well, it's a big game rivalry, but outside of the rivalry, both teams are trying to play their way into the NCAA tournament. Huge game.
And the guards will dictate who wins this game. Both backcourts are fantastic. When you look at Abuka Okori for the Stanford Cardinal, Ben, he's one of the top scorers in the land.
Yeah, he's a guy that can make plays for himself, Roxy, but he can also make plays for his teammates. So dangerous at the end of a shot clock. The numbers he's put up, incredible. Dana Ames, no stranger to success for his team. Very similar. Really good off the dribble, can create shots, and he's not afraid to get the ball to his teammates as well.
And Dana Ames leads Cal in scoring, averaging over 17 points per game. After bouncing around to a couple of stops, he's found a home here in Berkeley, and he's excelled for Mark Madsen. A look at the ACC standings. Right now, Cal coming into today, the Golden Bears tied for 9th in the ACC with Florida State. And Florida State had a big win earlier today, and now Cal a game behind Florida State. Well, Stanford, they're tied for 13th in the ACC, and they're trying to bounce back after a tough loss in Winston-Salem to Wake Forest last Saturday. Third straight road game for the Cardinals.
Yeah, but if you're Cal, you're in good shape in that you've won 18 games, and you really control your own destiny in terms of playoff consideration.
Cal and Stanford meeting for the 293rd time here this afternoon, as the Cardinal making the trek across the bay. A little less than an hour between the two schools. Stanford on the west side of San Francisco Bay, down the peninsula, and Berkeley, of course, in the East Bay. And Mark Madsen knows a lot about this rivalry, having played on one side of it and now coaching on the other.
And I know a lot about Mark Madsen, Roxy, as you know. What a tremendous player, competitor. Now he's got an opportunity to coach this Cal team, and this is his best Cal team he's had since he's been here.
And then Kyle Smith's Cardinal. Stanford 16-10. Kyle's second year on the farm. And after Kyle Smith had a good run at Washington State, also at San Francisco and Columbia prior to taking the Stanford job, and now Kyle Smith, after winning 21 games last year, has Stanford 16-10 and has had to retool this team with Maxime Renel off to the NBA.
Well, you know, that's true, but you know what he's done this year, he's had some signature wins. You look at some of the people Stanford has beaten this year, they've gotten the job done, but he's going to have a challenge here today against Stanford, against Cal.
Opening tip controlled by Cal. And the Bears going with the gold and trying to gold out Haas Pavilion today. As Dana Ames in a mismatch watched by A.J. Rahosi. Welcome those of you just joining us, just getting started at Haas Pavilion in Berkeley. The 293rd meeting of Cal and Stanford on the basketball floor, along with Ben Braun and our ACC Network crew. Roxy Bernstein with you. As Stanford comes in 16-10, 5-8 in the ACC. Cal 18-8, they're 6-7 in the conference. And both teams right now, according to Joe Lunardi, they're on the outside looking in, but right on the verge of the NCAA tournament as Milos Ilic gets fouled inside for California.
Well, it's a nice position to be in. You know, again, Roxy, both of these teams picked at the bottom of the conference when the year started. Now they're talking about playoff consideration. So both coaches have done an outstanding job with their teams.
First on Aiden Kamen. And at the line, it'll be Milos Ilic, the senior from Serbia, shooting a pair for Cal, getting the start for the 7th straight game for Mark Madsen, as Lee Dort had started the majority of the games for Cal this season, has been out with a quad injury. They were hoping to have him back today. He went through warm-ups, a game-time decision, but doesn't appear that Lee Dort will be available for Mark Madsen.
No, he won't be available this game, but my guess is Mark Madsen will try to get him in down the stretch of the conference. But Milos Ilic has been really a bright spot for Cal. He's done a really nice job fitting in at the post position.
Cal defense will try to slow down number 1 in Cardinal, Ibuka Okori, who's 6th in the country in scoring, as he averages 22.5 per game as A.J. Rahosi goes inside, missing, and Cal clears. Justin Pippen lost the handle, and the loose ball last touched by Chris Bell, and it belongs to Stanford.
Yeah, nice hustle by Stanford, hit the deck and causing a turnover there. Great defense.
These two teams met at Maples Pavilion over on the farm at the end of January in a 78-66 California win, where Stanford jumped on Cal early. The Cardinal were up 29-13 early in that game, before Cal came storming back, used a 10-0 run in the second half to pull away as Benny Keeler missing a 3, and it goes out of bounds, and it belongs to California. But in that game, John Camden, 25 points, 10 rebounds. Cal made 10 threes. They held Stanford to just 27% shooting from the floor.
Well, it's Stanford, has done a good job, but Cal's a second-half team. They've been that way all season long.
Here's John Camden, missing a 3, and the rebound, A.J. Rahosi for the Cardinal. And Okori, Cal doubling him up top. Benny Keeler launches, too strong on the 3, and the rebound grabbed by Justin Pippen in transition. Pippen has it stripped and stolen. Benny Keeler, who leads the Cardinal in steals, pulls up for 3 in transition, and the rebound pulled down by Justin Pippen for Cal.
Yeah, Benny Keeler's had 3 good looks. He's not going to stop shooting, and he's a 40-plus three-point shooter.
Yeah, 42% on the year for Keeler as Day-Day Ames. 3!
Speaking of high percentages, how about Day-Day Ames shooting a cool 30+%, knocking down a big 3.
Ryan Agarwal. Stanford looking to get on the board. They're 0 for 5 from the floor. Okori is yet to attempt a shot. Has it stripped. Last touch by California, and it stays with Stanford. 7 on the shot clock.
Day-Day Ames is not just a ball handler and a guy that can juke you, but he can get you on your heels, and if you give him space, he's going to knock that shot down. Really tough one-on-one player.
Here's Okori. He gets free. Has a good look and knocks it down. Ibuka Okori gets Stanford on the board.
And he struggled mightily in the last game against Cal.
He was just 1 for 16 against Cal the first time around.
Aberration, Roxy. That's all you can say. I mean, what he's done since and before, incredible. But he's just so confident, and you can't go underneath screens against Okori. I know you've got to respect his driving ability and ability to get to the free throw line, but he'll knock that shot down. T.T. Carr in the ball game now. Stanford going to the zone, Rox.
Here's John Camden, the lob over the top for Milos Ilic, who drops it in, and Cal leads 7-3.
Yeah, nice job by Stanford. Did a good job, did Stanford, of matching up to Camden in the zone, but high low from the high post, pretty easy score outside.
Here's A.J. Rahosi diving inside. Ryan Agarwal had a good look. He has struggled recently shooting the ball. He is critical to Stanford, helping him space the floor. Milos Ilic down the line. And it's run down. Here comes Ibuka Okori back the other way for the Cardinal. Okori attacks. Okori to the bucket. He lays it in.
Yeah, how tough is he to the basket? Over the top, through 3 defenders, over the top of 6'10" with his offhand.
Ibuka Okori has all 5 for the Cardinal.
And Stanford staying in that zone. They're not going to give. They're going to try to keep Cal off the glass. They better keep their eyes on John Cameron, because he's money.
Shot clock down to 5. Day Ames penetrates. Ames hangs. Left it short. Got his own miss. Tries a reverse. Batted around, and Stanford has it. Here comes Abuka Okori. Okori spins down the lane. Drives contact and one.
Abuka Okori on the finish in transition. There's one defender. There's two, no problem. There's a third. Unbelievable, Roxy. Through the lane, over the top of 4 defenders. Scoring, big fella.
Latest bracketology from Joe Lunardi for the ACC. Duke on the 1 line, of course, and Virginia, who's red hot right now, up to a 4 seed. Carolina, a good win at Syracuse today without Caleb Wilson. And SMU as a 10 seed, they'll be here in the Bay Area taking on Cal and Stanford this week. Cal, the next 4 out, and then Stanford also under consideration.
Yeah, nice position to be in this late in the season, 2 weeks to go. Because if you can win your games, beat some of the ranked teams, you put yourself in a position, again, to get in. Stanford continues to employ their zone. They've done a good job holding Cal at 28%.
Here's Day Ames, shot clock approaching 10. Ames in the lane, may have gotten away with a little nudge.
Well, I think Benny Geeler sold it, but I think he got hit. Referees letting him play.
As Cal reclaims the lead. Abuka Okori has all 7 points for Stanford. Here he is. Benny Geeler gets inside. Abuka Okori missing from deep, and the long rebound to Chris Bell, and Cal looking to attack, but Stanford does a really good job getting back in transition.
You got to make sure it's tough to guard Cal. Kyle Smith told us that as much in pregame.
T.T. Carr pull-up jumper, and that shot may have been deflected by Oscar Hielte, the big man, the freshman from Belgium off the bench for Kyle Smith. Aiden Cameron has it deflected out, and it stays at this end with the Cardinal. Tune in, the ACC Network, Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. As number 14, Virginia hosting NC State, followed by the U, Miami. In Tallahassee, battling Florida State, both games available on the ESPN app.
You know, Roxy, Stanford's had 6 open threes. They just haven't knocked those down. They knocked those shots down. It's a different game.
Stanford is a team 35% on their threes. And Kyle Smith going to his bench, and a travel called on Cameron Grant, who's into the ball game, along with Jeremy Dent-Smith for Stanford.
Yeah.
Jeremy Dent-Smith, another terrific three-point shooter for the Cardinal.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Inside, down low, Montes Kochenis, and he's fouled and will get to the line.
Now, Kyle Smith's not happy about that call. Thought that was pretty good verticality and just a missed shot.
First on Cameron Grant.
Now, here's the offense. It's a high-low look from John Cameron inside. That's a hard play to play against. You've got to guard Cameron in the high post because he'll torch you if you don't.
Kochenis now only 2 for 7 from the line on the season.
Yeah, he struggled from there.
One more shot for Kochenis as Justin Pippen comes back into the game for Cal.
DJ Campbell on the floor as well.
And Kochenis goes 1 for 2. 3-point lead. Cal is led by as many as 5 in the early stages. Out of the double team, Abuka Okori gets it to Cameron Grant. Falling out of bounds, throws it away. Here comes DeJuan Campbell in transition for Cal. Now Stanford's picking up man-to-man. Here's Ames forced out. Camden pull-up jumper. John Camden rattles it in for his first points.
Now, when he does that, he's lethal. You know he can score, but when he can blow by and pull up and hit two-point shots, you got your hands full.
Cal's match their largest lead. And the pass thrown away is Ryan Agarwal trying to connect with Oscar Hielte. And Stanford gives it right back to Cal.
Oh, there's two turnovers by Grant, now another one by Agarwal. Agarwal, that's tough. When you're playing Cal, you can ill afford to play giveaway, and Kyle Schmidt wants to talk to his team and his players right now. Sometimes you have to make substitutions and calm some of your players down, and that's just what he's done now with Ryan Agarwal on the bench, just kind of giving him a pat on the back, say, hey, settle down. It's a long game.
DeJuan Campbell gets inside. A fall away by Campbell, well defended by Jeremy Dent-Smith. And here comes Abuko Okori. Benny Keeler. Down low to Oscar Hielte. And Hielte off the heel of the rim, and the rebound grab by Montes Kochinis for Cal.
Yeah, it's a pretty good look, but he has to go over the top of the big fella, Kochinis.
Ames on the step through. Day-Day Ames will get to the line.
And that's where he's so dangerous. Yeah, he will split you, split defenders, keep his dribble alive, and he's really good at getting the ball off the glass. He's gotten to the free throw line a ton this year, Day-Day Ames, 100+ times, because of his ability to get by his defender.
First on Oscar Hielte, and one more for Ames, who has 6 points and 86% foul shooter. And Day-Day Ames, who started at Kansas State, then last year played at Virginia. And with the uncertainty there, and Tony Bennett all of a sudden retiring before the season, and then decided after that year wanted to transfer out, and he found a home here at Cal.
Now, he's had a breakout season, an outstanding senior year for the Cal Bears. He's done so much for this team.
Stanford's been scoreless for over 3 minutes now. 7 straight for Cal. And it's lost out of bounds by Abuko Okori, and Stanford commits their 4th turnover. 14-7. The big game basketball style. Cal leading Stanford 14-7, a pivotal game for both teams here late in the season. And Ben, you coached in this rivalry. You know what it's all about.
Well, you know, Roxy, you're going to have large crowds, and so that's a must. That's a given, and we got a great crowd tonight. You're going to have a big emotional prep, and you're going to have alums. We have a bunch of alums on both sides back here. I remember playing Stanford, Mike Montgomery the first year. We beat a Brevin Knight, Mark Manson team. I said, this is going to be easy. It wasn't so easy after that. It got to be tough. We had trouble winning games.
Chris Bell gets the flyby, missing the 3, and the rebound kept alive by DeJuan Campbell for California. Here's Justin Pippen attacking. Bell on the baseline. The step back and the rebound tipped free by Abuko Okori for the Cardinal.
Well, I'm just glad these teams are continuing to play. And I really mean that. I don't care if it's UCLA and Cal and, you know, and teams and leagues in North Carolina, Duke. And it's just great to see rivalries that have been going on for, call it 100 years, and you're still playing. And these games mean something.
Cal played UCLA, beat them earlier this year, although that win's not looking as good as it was back then in November when they beat the Bruins.
Well,
still a quality win, though, on a neutral floor. Abuko Okori. Now Aiden Kamen moving in on Sammy Yane, playing in just his 2nd game this season for Cal. And Aiden Kamen pulls down the offensive rebound. Aiden Kamen and 1.
that's a big-time move by Kamen. He's had some good games in Chisholm Okpara's absence, but, you know, Stanford's going to need to do more of that, Roxy. They're going to have to crash the glass, and Cal's shown the inability at times to seal off the defensive glass. If you want to pick a weakness, that might be one of the areas, but, you know, Stanford's going to have a tough time scoring on Cal. Cal plays pretty good defense, but you got to find ways, transition, offensive rebounds.
Stanford ending a drought of about 4.5 minutes as Kamen missing the N1 free throw. And the first points for somebody not named Ibuka Okori with that Aiden Kamen bucket for the Cardinal. Knocked away from Justin Pippen, diving for the loose ball. Kamen trying to wrestle it free. And the arrow goes to Stanford on the alternating possession.
Now that's twice now that Stanford's been quick to hit the deck and come up with a loose ball. But, you know, that's the spirit of this rivalry. You want this, a little something extra in your tank for these games. And both teams, you know, not shooting it particularly well now. They're a little tight, in my opinion.
Both teams are in similar spots in terms of close to the NCAA tournament, but probably on the outside looking in as of right now. And Sammy Yaneu has just whistled for his second foul.
Yeah, and I think what you're trying to do is you're just trying to put yourself in a position to, you know, be there come tournament time. But I like what Aiden Kamen's doing. You know, he's trying to go up and through defenders. A lot of times, a good post player can get something and make something out of nothing.
Falls off. Aiden Kamen now 0 for 2 of the line. And Kamen's been in double digits in 2 of the last 4 games after reaching double figures only once in the first 22 games this season. So he has started to come on for Kyle Smith and giving the Cardinal another option.
Yeah, he's not known for his scoring, but he's stepped up in his role and he's adapted pretty well in Okpara's absence.
Chris Bell slides down the baseline.
And he can do that. He's such a good scorer that if you turn your head, try to beat him up to the basketball, he'll backdoor cut you for baskets. He's done that all year.
Jeremy Dent-Smith will back it away. Here is Kamen. A.J. Rahosi on the block. And jump ball belongs to Cal as Rahosi couldn't get the shot off the defense for Milos Ilic.
Yeah, nice job by Ilic. But, you know, Cal's made a living with their ability to shoot from 3. You lay on the ball, you try to beat your defender, and Chris Bell just reads the defense, cuts right to the basket. You got to put more pressure on the passer in that case.
Here's Bell trying to back down the smaller Benny Gieler. Bell on the move. Had it stripped, loose ball. Jeremy Dent-Smith pushes. Transition, Dent-Smith to the bucket. Missing Ibuka Okori and a follow. They stopped play because they called goaltending, but because Cal pulled down the rim, but Okori got it to go anyway.
Yeah, that's great hustle by Ibuka Okori. That's a 2-on-1 coming back. Jeremy Dent-Smith with the miss, but Okori's right there. Smallest player on the floor with the offensive putback.
Stanford has won 3 true road games this year, 3 and 4 on the road. As the shot missed by Justin Pippen, the offensive rebound, Bell, and a foul underneath against Stanford.
If you're Stanford, you can ill afford to give Cal extra possessions. They've got to, they've got to go out and grab the defensive glass. That's one of the reasons why they played zone for the first few possessions.
First on Benny Gieler, and that's the 4th on the Cardinal. The first appearance for Jalen Thompson. John Camden backing his way in. Tough fall-away jumper by John Camden.
And he's added that to his game. He's not just a standstill shooter. I mean, that's creating a shot along the baseline. Good elevation.
Benny Gieler from deep. 3! Tough shot by Benny Gieler.
Well, Roxy, one thing I can promise you, he's not going to stop shooting. He missed his first 3. But he's too good a shooter, and he'll continue to put the ball to the basket.
And his steal, Keeler almost was off to the races. Cal reclaims it. Day-Day Ames lost it out of bounds. And Stanford may want to challenge this. The Cardinal motioning to Kyle Smith to challenge this. It's a Cal ball on the baseline.
It's always tricky if you want to do it early, but you're a video guy and your players, you must trust your players. We'll see what happens on the other side.
Stanford is challenging. The call on the floor was Cal ball. So far, Cal up 3. They've led by as many as 7. Abuko Corey has 9 of the Cardinals' 15 points. But Stanford right now looks uncomfortable running their offense.
Well, they're struggling. They're 2 for 8. But the good news, Roxy, is they've held Cal to 1 for 3 from 3. And how important is that? Cal's a great three-point shooting team. And Stanford, on the season has only given up 5 threes made per game, and that's 14th in the country.
Stanford challenged that last out-of-bounds call. It was overturned. A successful challenge for Kyle Smith, so they have one more challenge, and they keep that timeout. Aiden Kamen inside. Off balance, will get to the line again, as Kamen has already shot 3 free throws in the game.
Oh, he's done a
and he'll
nice
shoot
job.
2 more.
They've done a nice job getting the ball in the paint and drawing fouls, Rox. It's so important that, you know, having the ability to go at the other team and get to the foul line.
First on Milos Ilic. As Kamen at the stripe for the Cardinal. Coming up Thursday on the ACC Network, women's hoops doubleheader for you. We'll start it in Atlanta as number 8 Louisville takes on Georgia Tech at 6 Eastern. And then number 9 Duke hosting Florida State, as both games are available also on the ESPN app, in addition to the ACC Network, as Kamen goes 1 for 2, and it's a 2-point game. Backdoor for Ames. Wide open is Chris Bell. 3.
You give up Chris Bell in the corner uncontested, and that's going to be the result most of the time.
And Cal as a team, 38% on their threes. The Golden Bears are 22nd in the country in three-point percentage.
Well, and Stanford's number 7 in the country at allowing three-point shots, only 17 a game. So they've done a good job, but against Cal, you got to do better than a good job. You got to do a great job.
And turnovers are a problem so far. That's 6 already for the Cardinal. As a tough follow-away shot, Day-Day Ames.
Hard to find an answer for Day-Day Ames. He's that good with the basketball in his hands.
And Cal has matched their largest lead. Aiden Kamen. He tried to use the window. The rebound grabbed by Justin Pippen. Ames open. And he missed everything, and Abuko Corey comes out of the pack with the basketball. Jeremy Dent-Smith on the drive, denied at the rim by Bill, but a foul called on California.
How about this? Jeremy Dent-Smith and Cal, 2 guys climbing the ladder. Get it out of here. Fans, Coach Madsen not pleased with that call. Dent-Smith, we shoot 2.
2 shots, Jeremy Dent-Smith, 83%. And Stanford continues to struggle shooting the ball, as the Cardinal are just 2 for 7 from the line. They're 2 of 8 from 3 and below 40% from the floor. Jeremy Dent-Smith goes 1 for 2.
Yeah, they shoot 72 from the floor, from the free throw line on the year, so highly uncharacteristic. But you know, they're going to have to stay in this game defensively because their shots aren't falling.
And that was the problem the first time around. John Camden missing from deep, and the rebound of Abuko Corey for Stanford. Corey already with 8 rebounds. Has it stripped in the lane. Cal pushing. Justin Pippen. John Camden. 3.
You see what happens if you don't get back in transition. Kyle Smith having to call a timeout. to settle his troops down.
Cal has opened up their largest lead. 26-17, California has opened up a 9-point lead on Stanford.
Well, they're doing a good job defensively, and Cal's not afraid to push the ball in transition, but the unselfishness now, just getting the ball in open people's hands. The ball doesn't stick, and John Cameron knows what to do. He's in the corner, furthest guy from the ball, and knocked down now the last 2 threes he's taken. They've guarded him in the half-court, Roxy, but they have not found him in transition. It's a good lesson for teams. If you can get down the floor and set up before the other team sets up, you'll get some looks.
8-2 spurt for Cal. But Stanford right now trying to just find some semblance of a rhythm offensively as Aiden Cameron missing inside. And off the bench, Donovan Young can't keep it alive. Data Ames bursts up the floor. Ames gets the roll.
And might have got fouled as well. But Cal really doing a good job defensively right now. They're turning turnovers and missed shots into transition basketball.
And Stanford seems out of sorts. Ibuka Okori, and he missed a layup. A good look and a nice start to the basket for Okori. And Aiden Cameron denies Milos Ilic. It's stripped by Benny Gieler out of bounds. It stays at this end with Cal.
Now, Cal's making a living right now off of their defense. They're poking it away, and they're getting down the floor with numbers. Data Ames, lethal transition.
A Cal team that started the year 12-1. Chris Bell missing off the inbound. Got his own miss, then fouled, and will get to the line. It's on Aiden Cameron, the second on Cameron.
Now, Cal's winning the hustle war right now. They're getting a lot of the 50-50 balls. They're getting second chance opportunities against Cal. They're hustling hard on the offensive glass.
2 shots for Bell. He is an 85% free throw shooter. But a Cal team, again, that began the year 12-1. It was the best start for a Cal team since the 1959-1960 Pete Newell-led Cal team that went all the way to the national championship game.
Yeah,
they started 28-1.
Yeah, say no more. I mean, that's a big stat. And, you know, they've had a couple of games where they've fallen off, but they've played awfully well at home. And they've got firepower. They're a very difficult team to play against because of their offensive prowess.
And they have wins against North Carolina. They beat UCLA on a neutral floor at the Chase Center, home of the Warriors in San Francisco. And quality road wins at Miami and also at Stanford as Aiden Cameron the reverse on the baseline.
Cal having a tough time guarding Cameron one-on-one. They might want to bring a second defender. Cal's got a very good double-team scheme. Wouldn't be surprised to see it employed.
But with 18 wins already, and 4 more games in the regular season after tonight. Cal already with 18 wins, their most in 2016-2017.
Yep. And there's Cameron just showing what he can do. But Cal, you know, it's in a great position, Roxy. They control their destiny by winning out these games. They put themselves smack into the tournament if they can do it.
Pippen drives. Trying to create space, falling down, and the rebound falls to Aiden Cameron. And another Stanford turnover and miscommunication between Aiden Cameron and Ryan Agarwal. Cal's got a double-digit lead, and Stanford's out of sorts. Well, it'd be fun to get a finish like that, Taylor, here in Berkeley. It's a meaningful game for both Cal and Stanford. And our star report so far they have delivered here in the first half.
Well, Cal's playing at a high level. You know, Stanford really struggling to find their shot. I'm struggling to find my voice. I think I left it in San Francisco, Roxy, at that Gonzaga game. Not my heart, but Cal's really struggling. And you know, I mean, Stanford's really struggling. They've had looks, but 35 from the floor, 25 from 3, and 37 from the line. That's not a typical Cal Smith coach team.
Backdoor lob intercepted by A.J. Rahosi, trying to connect with Chris Bell, and the Cardinal take it back. Benny Geeler. Entry pass to Rahosi. And A.J. Rahosi with the left hand using glass.
Oh, that's what he can do. And that's what Stanford's had success doing so far this game, is going inside, scoring on the block. Cal electing not to double team. Back to the zone for Stanford.
Backdoor for John Camden, who drops it in.
Yeah, that's twice now that Cal's sharpshooters have just read the defense. Being denied, they cut backdoor Camden for the 2.
A.J. Rahosi muscles up underneath. Then Rahosi goes back to work inside.
Yeah, no answer against Stanford's big guys. They found something, Roxy, that they got to stop Cal. You know, now they got to play out of this defense and match up to their shooters and protect the paint a little bit.
Pull-up jumper, Justin Pippen, his first points of the game, and 2.5 to go in the half, and back to a double-figure lead for Cal.
He's been so good for Cal this year. What an improvement he's made since his Michigan days.
Rahosi. And the rebound grab by John Camden. Cal has numbers. John Camden swatted away by Aiden Cameron, lunging at the three-point shooter.
Yeah, you better do that, because Cameron's gonna, if he doesn't get out there, he's gonna be bottomed up. And how about Justin Pippen? Just his body control. He's so patient with the ball, the son of the great Scottie Pippen, and he's really turned into a basketball player this year for the Bears.
Spinning, Day-Day Ames all the way to the bucket.
Yeah, no help. You're going to have problems. You've got to put a second defender on him. He's just too good in the middle of the floor.
Cal has matched their largest lead. A.J. Rahosi, he throws it away.
You want to talk about one-on-one moves. Start with Day-Day Ames. Watch the spin cycle. Whirl, curl. I mean, my goodness. He gets by you, no help, because you're in the middle of the floor. Everybody one pass away.
Already 9 Stanford turnovers. They average 11 a game. And the rebound grab by Ryan Agarwal for the Cardinal. Final minute of the half. Aiden Cameron from deep. Tipped up and in by A.J. Rahosi.
Oh, that's an amazing tip. I mean, he just went up over the top and used his fingertips to get that. I don't know how he got that one in, but he did. Big basket by Stanford. Here's Cal trying to close out the half.
Deep three. Chris Bell.
You're wondering if Cal has firepower. They've got 4 guys on the floor right now that will torch you from 3 if you don't guard them.
Cardinal can play for the last shot of the half as Cal's enjoying their largest lead of the game. Abuka Okori gets inside, and the rebound tip free. Day-Day Ames beyond midcourt. But a strong first 20 minutes in California has a 14-point lead.
They're playing like a tournament team to me, Roxy. They're playing with a lot of fire. Cal on all cylinders against their rival, the Stanford Cardinal from House Pavilion.
Day-Day Ames leads all scorers with 13, and a 14-point California lead at the half as we go to the ACC Network studios. And our halftime report is Taylor Tannenbaum. Getting ready for the start of the second half, the 293rd meeting on the hardwood between Cal and Stanford, and Cal controlling play in the first half, up 14 on their arch rivals from across the bay. Along with Ben Braun and our ACC Network crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. And Cal came out strong on both ends of the floor. Their defense started, and the offense got going for Mark Madsen.
Well, I was impressed with the way Cal played defensively. They forced turnovers and then scored. And Day-Day Ames has had a basketball game. I mean, he's a tough player. He'll knock shots down from deep. He will take you to the basket at will. And Cal's just been active with their hands defensively, Roxy. They've forced a lot of strip balls, turnovers, and they've converted them. So unselfish play as well.
Turnovers were a huge problem for Stanford, a team that normally takes care of the ball, but the turnovers led to runouts.
No, that Stanford's usually one of the best in the country. They don't turn it over much, but Cal's really stepped up their defense. If Stanford wants to get back in the game, they're going to have to take care of the ball. Then they're going to have to knock down some shots. They just haven't shot it well, and they can.
Stanford shot just 39% in the first half, 2 for 9 from 3. And the Cardinal turned it over 9 times, and they usually only commit 11 a game. Down low to A.J. Rahosi. Turns middle. Rahosi left it short. John Camden pulls it down for Cal.
A better job by Elitz staying grounded.
Day-Day Ames goes baseline. Missed the reverse, and here comes Ibuka Okori up the floor for the Cardinal. Pull-up three in transition for Okori, and he's got 12, and Stanford desperately needed that.
Well, how dangerous is he? If you don't stop him in transition, he'll pull up on a dime and knock it down.
Second three for Ibuka Okori.
He's had some 30-piece games this year, a number of them.
He set the Stanford freshman single-game record when he put up 40 against Georgia Tech a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, forget 30-piece.
John Camden from deep. In and out on the three, and the rebound tip to Benny Gieler, the Cardinal control. Ryan Uggerwald. Gieler fires short on the three, and the rebound grabbed by Justin Pippen. Here comes Cal. Pull up for John Camden in transition. Three!
They got to find him in transition. That's the danger. If you don't get back with numbers, you lose shooters, and you can't lose Camden.
Camden, one of 3 Cal players in double digits.
John Camden lethal from 3.
And a foul, and a hand check called on California on the perimeter.
Yeah, John Camden just gets so much attention, Roxy, because he's so good from 3. And when you go out to him and you try to get on him, he'll drive you. He's added that to his game. So he's a pretty hard cover. He really is.
First on Day-Day Ames. And Camden lost it out of bounds.
Well, he's saying to the referee, I got a little help. You know, John Camden doing a good job defensively, moving his feet.
Right here.
Here's Milos Ilic, and he's pushed in the post. And that's the first on A.J. Rahosi of the Cardinal. The Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament begins Wednesday, March 4th on the ACC Network. We'll have all first and second round games and 2 of the quarterfinal matchups. Our first round coverage begins 11 a.m. Wednesday, March 4th with the Nothing But Net crew from the Women's ACC Tournament. As Ryan Uggerwald missing a 3 and John Camden the rebound for Cal. Chris Bell missed everything. Aiden Camden steps into a 3. And the rebound lost out of bounds by John Camden will stay at this end. Stanford ball.
Now break for Stanford there. That was a missed three. Another missed three. Stanford really lit on the basket from three.
We talked about the great start Cal had this season. Stanford started out strong as well. They were 14-4 after their win against North Carolina, but they've lost 6 of their last 8 and let one slip away last Saturday at Wake Forest, a game they led for about 37 minutes.
That's a big basket there,
Jeremy Dent-Smith a three.
And they also beat St. Louis. Keep in mind, they beat St. Louis earlier this year. That's a big win. I mean, not many teams have beaten St. Louis.
They beat Louisville. They won at Virginia Tech.
Big wins.
Stanford's got 4 quad 1 wins. They're one of 35 teams in the country coming into play today with at least 4 quad 1 wins. John Camden missing a fall away. Milos Ilic missing a putback. And Ibuka Okori, his 10th rebound. He's got a double-double. 12 points, 10 rebounds.
Well, if Stanford can hit a shot here, they knock this down to single digits.
Ibuka Okori way off at Aiden Kamen on the offensive glass. Kamen is fouled. And Kamen will shoot 2.
Well, you know, you like the fight now. Stanford's coming out of the locker room, and they're battling, Rox. I mean, you know, Cal's going to do what they do. They knock shots down, but Stanford's doing a good job of being gritty, getting to the glass, getting to the free throw line. They're going to need to do more of this.
Aiden Kamen shooting 2. Second foul on Milos Ilic. And Kamen one more shot, and it's a 10-point game.
Yeah, both teams now playing without significant players. Lee Dort, who's been a big part of Cal's team, hoping to get back in the lineup. And for Stanford, a big loss in Chisholm Okpara out for the year. So 2 guys that really cement the middle and are tough kids.
Yeah, the good news for Cal is Dort was a game-time decision. He went through warm-ups tonight, but just couldn't go. But unfortunately for the Cardinal, Chisholm Okpara with that knee injury gone for the season as Justin Pippen rattles in a 3.
You see his confidence growing from game to game. It just always takes what the defense gives him. You go underneath the screen, he'll knock it down. You play him tight, he'll drive you.
Underneath, Aiden Kamen banks it in.
Now Stanford continuing to attack Cal at the glass. They've been effective all game. In fact, have outscored Cal in the paint.
Day-Day Ames gets in the lane. Ames to the bucket. And it's taken away, and here come the Cardinal. Ibuka Okori rushing up the floor. Transition 3. Jeremy Dent-Smith too long in the rebound. Day-Day Ames counters back the other way. Chris Bell is fouled.
Now, if you like action, you're seeing it. But how about Justin Pippen? He's got the ball in his handle on a string. And you don't guard me, I'm going to nail it. Pippen from downtown.
11-point Cal lead. That's somebody who knows a little bit about the rivalry. That is Jason Collins. It's so awesome to see him here today.
Absolutely. You know, what a tremendous competitor and what a great young man. Been through a lot, but I think really great to see him, Roxy.
Teammate of Mark Madsen's at Stanford, and Jason Collins, 14 years in the NBA. And it was announced last September that he was fighting brain cancer, and he looks fantastic, and it's so amazing to see him here, considering the ordeal that disease he is fighting, and it's awesome to see Jason Collins here in Berkeley today. Come out and watch a game that he played in about 25 years ago.
No, and it's got to be emotional for Mark Madsen. You talk about a great teammate, both the Collins twins, but Jason and the battles he's had.
Benny Keeler rims out a 3, and the rebound tracked down by Day-Day Ames.
Let's go, Day-Day! Heat check, heat check!
Montes Kochenis trying a 3. T.T. Carr, the offensive rebound. And got to spend some time with Jason a number of years ago when there was that Pac-12 China trip, and Stanford went over and played in Shanghai, and Jason went on the trip with the Cardinal. And also for a number of years, I got to work with his brother Jaron, his twin, calling games, and Jaron was an analyst, and he loved working with me so much that he went into coaching.
Yeah, how about that?
Benny Keeler all the way down and popped out, and a foul going for the rebound. It's a push on John Camden. We'll stay at this end. Tune in, ACC Network, Tuesday night. A doubleheader beginning at 7 Eastern is the red-hot Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia's won 8 straight as they host NC State, followed by Miami and Florida State. That all-Florida nightcap coming up Tuesday night on ACC Network and also available on the ESPN app.
Well, I remember back to college. We'll talk about that in a minute, Rox. But those guys were some tremendous players. Nice move inside.
A.J. Rahosi gets his own miss. Back up is Rahosi in the bucket.
Had a chance to recruit the Collins twins my first year at Cal, and we were on probation. I think if we weren't, we were going to get him. But then he goes to UCLA and then end up at Stanford. And what great players from Mike Montgomery. Saw Mike visiting with Jason as well, which was nice to see the coach and player get together after all these years.
And a foul will get John Camden to the line for Cal. It's on A.J. Rahosi, his second.
There actually talk about this rivalry, and have some great memories, but one of the things I don't particularly like thinking about is playing against the Collins twins for all the years. A pair of 7-footers.
Dealing with them and Madsen at the same time. You had to deal with that.
And then we get rid of them, and then the Lopez twins come in. When matters seem to be getting better, they get just as bad.
An embarrassment of riches of big men.
Oh,
Tim Young,
I didn't mind
Curtis Borchardt.
But why did they have to have twins, Roxy? One's enough. I mean, just give me, play against one of them. We stopped Brooke Lopez. We couldn't stop his brother Robin. He got every offensive rebound. Tipped him in.
Aiden Camden fouled, and he'll shoot more free throws. It's on John Camden, his second.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Stanford's really electing to use their big guys and the shots not falling to try to get back in this game. They're trying to get to the free throw line, stop the clock, and just build up, cut this lead.
Rolls in for Aiden Camden. He's now 4 for 8 at the line and 10 points for the sophomore from Andover, Massachusetts.
Well, Stanford only shooting 40%, but Cal's free throw percentage defense this year, Roxy, number 2 in the country, 64%. I don't know what that means.
How do you coach free throw per defense?
I don't know, but it's a fact. Look it up. I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. It must be something you're saying. Something maybe you're getting the players there when they're tired. I don't know.
And the rebound falls to Benny Keeler, and Stanford controls, and a chance for the Cardinal to get into single digits. Rahosi. And the rebound, Montes Kochinas for Cal.
Yeah, didn't go up strong. Yeah, John Camden on his back could have gotten to the rim. Just hurried himself a tad bit. He's got good moves down there, but just really didn't get the best percentage shot.
It appears awkward at times, but effective for A.J. Rahosi on the block.
He's got good footwork. Important for post guys to have.
Inside 10 to shoot to Juan Campbell. Turns the corner. Campbell leans in, and A.J. Rahosi comes over and blocks it out of bounds. 2 on the timer for Cal.
Yeah, that's good job. I mean, and they're playing without, Hilte that also knocks block shots at a high level. I mean, that's another guy that they're playing with him, but he also knocks shots back. Short clock here. They got to get it up.
Pippen does, and it's well short. That'll be a shot clock violation. And it's Stanford basketball inside 12.5 minutes to play.
That's encouraging if you're Stanford, because you got a good stop, and now you can go down with a little momentum to climb back in this game. Stanford, a dangerous team if you let them, cut this lead to a couple of possessions.
They have firepower. They have the ability to get hot. We've seen it. For example, you look at the North Carolina game where they came on a torrid clip to close out the game. They did it at Virginia Tech from down 13 in the final few minutes and won the game.
And did it against St. Louis with a Benny Keeler 3 at the buzzer.
Aiden Kamen. And Oscar Healte tips it free. Loose ball secured. Justin Pippen for Cal. Montes Kochinas underneath. Kochinas fouled and one.
Jeremy Dent-Smith tried to give up a foul. My goodness, and did get the foul, but still Kochinas with the two.
13-point Cal lead. This is the up-to-the-minute Joe Lunardi bracketology. Yes, Joey Brackets consistently updating. And you look at Miami moving up to an 8 despite losing at Virginia today. SMU is now a 9 after they hammered Boston College. Cal is now among the first 4 out with some of the results from around the country today.
Well, they can play their way in, Roxy. They've got winnable games. You saw that banner there with the Cal teams in the tournament. They'd love to add their name to that banner in the tradition, and they can. These are winnable games. SMU and Pitt at home, at Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. You know, and Roxy, you can't control who you're playing, but you can control. So it's not who you're playing, it's how you're playing. And if Cal plays the way they're playing down the stretch like this, they are putting themselves in position to be a tournament team.
We have a delay because of a shot clock malfunction on the hoop Cal is shooting at right now. The one on the Stanford end of the floor is fine. And that's the issue right now above the basket that Cal is shooting at. They're going to try to get this rectified here. But we saw the bracketology. And Cal has not been to the tournament since Conzo Martin was the head coach here. And that's going back 3 coaches ago.
Yeah, it's been a drought. And Cal's used to winning here, certainly since the Jason Kidd days. I mean, we had some teams that were used to going to the tournament. It was a disappointment when you didn't go. And so Mark Madsen doing everything that he can to get his team in that position. And this is his best team. He's got the best opportunity to go with this team. And I believe this is a team that can also win games in the tournament.
And Montes Kochinas, the and 1 free throw. He's tied a young career high of 4 points, a sophomore from Lithuania. And Cal has matched their largest lead of the ballgame.
I'm glad they fixed the shot clock. The board, the lights came back on.
And a foul as Abuka Okori trying to split the double team gets knocked down.
Yeah.
The 2026 T. Rowe Price ACC men's basketball tournament, be held in Charlotte, the Spectrum Center, coming up March 10th through 14th. Week-long and individual session tickets are on sale now. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit theacc.com/MBBT or use that QR code right there on your screen.
Yeah, how exciting is that going to be in Charlotte? I mean, some great teams. I think anybody's capable of winning that tournament. It's going to be exciting.
And Champ Week is going to be amazing leading up to the big dance.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now.
Abuka Okori turns the corner and tries to go high off the window and will get to the foul line. And it's the third on Sammy Yane.
Yeah, he got banged up. You can see Abuka Okori is just kind of favoring that, you know, I think that quad. But he's a competitor.
First career double-double for Abuka Okori, who now has 13 points here, along with the career best 11 rebounds for Okori.
Now think about that for a second. And again, the smallest player on the court, and he's doing that.
Yeah, amazing story that he originally had committed to Harvard.
Yep.
And was going there and then reopened his recruitment. And Stanford showed up a week later and made 3 consecutive visits back east to see him. As the New Hampshire Gatorade Player of the Year, ended up then committing to Kyle Smith and Stanford as Sammy Yane lost the ball. And it's a Cal ball with 6 on the shot clock.
Well, Kyle Smith said I wasn't sure how good he was. And then he found out how good he was quickly. He said he dominated practices, put him in the games as a starter, and the rest is history. He's had a phenomenal freshman year.
Yane 2 to shoot. Long 3 from Day Ames. And the rebound last touch by Abuko Corey, and it's a Cal ball, and Abuko Corey telling Kyle Smith, I didn't touch it. Challenge it.
Well, you got to trust your players, and you know what? I don't know. Usually your video guy helps you, but every possession counts. You better be sure. You don't want to lose the timeout and the possession.
Stanford does not challenge. Ames. And he is mugged on his way to the basket.
Yeah, I don't know how you guard Data Ames one-on-one without getting some help. He's so good at getting by you. He tacks your hip. There's a baseline there as a second defender, but he's so quick. His first step, his ability to change directions, much like Abuko Corey. I mean, these are two mirror players going to get up against each other.
Just a second miss from the line for Cal. They're now 12 for 14 today. One more for Day Ames. Leading scorer on the season for Cal in double figures already today. And in 24 of the 27 games for Mark Madsen this year.
He just said, I'm going to get a freebie. He took a free throw while there was a substitution.
And that's a delay of game warning assessed to Cal.
Haven't seen that in a while, Rob.
So the next one, not necessarily that particular violation, but if there's a delay of game, ball going out of bounds and you touch it, that could result in a technical against California.
Well, you hope it doesn't come down to that, but interesting.
Benny Geeler, corner 3.
And that's what we said earlier. He will not stop shooting, and nor should he. Phenomenal three-point shooter. Has been tough in one game for Stanford this year.
We mentioned this rivalry, and Mark Madsen played in it, and now coaching on the other side of it. Mike Montgomery coached on both sides of this rivalry. Benny Geeler's kind of living that life. His longtime girlfriend, Sophia, is a Cal student. Left open, Sammy Yane looking for his first points of the year. And Aiden Kamen rips it down. Abuko Corey pushes. Benny Geeler spots up. Back-to-back threes from Geeler, and Stanford is closed to within 7 halfway through period 2.
He must have heard your rocks. Benny Geeler from downtown. Nailing the three-point shot, making things interesting in Berkeley.
Benny Geeler has caught fire, and Stanford has pushed their way back in.
Well, he missed his first 3 or 4 shots, Roxy, but as we mentioned, he's got such great range, confidence in his shooting abilities, and he has won games for his team this year. He's not going to go away. He's going to continue to shoot the ball. If you're Cal, you better pay attention to Benny Geeler. He can shoot his team back in the lineup. And, you know, interestingly, Cal's now only protecting now with a couple of possessions here. You know, there's a lot more pressure, it seems, on Cal. They're going to have to step up now and try to put this game away.
Day Ames launching. 3!
There's no pressure when Day Ames has his hands on the ball. He says, no problem. I can shoot the 3-2. Big-time shot by Day.
Second 3 for Ames. Abuko Corey and a step-back 3. Answers for the Cardinal.
Now, if they can find a way to stop Cal, they'll be in this game. But that's easier said than done. Cal, so many weapons on the floor. They're going back to the 2-3. Is Stanford trying to keep him on the perimeter with the hand up? Better know where John Camden is.
John Camden, right on cue.
Too late, they didn't hear me. I mean, you can't just be in the vicinity, Roxy. You got to be in his back pocket. Too good.
8 threes for Cal. Aiden Kamen down the lane, and he'll get to the foul line.
Yeah, if you haven't followed Cal, you better understand this team is an elite three-point shooting team, and I mean elite. They go behind the arc from deep. John Camden is, I mean, Roxy, he's way out that Steph Curry range, and he just knocks it down. He's done that all year long. Tremendous range.
Third foul on Milos Ilic. 2 free throws for Aiden Kamen, who is 5 for 9 from the line.
You're wondering where John Camden gets his shooting ability, and he talks about his mother being the person that, you know, put him out on the floor and watched him, taught him how to shoot when he was younger. He's got great form.
His mom Susan played at William and Mary.
Well, she more than played. She could shoot and taught her son well because John Camden, he is elite.
And Aiden Camden missed both free throws. Chris Bell clanks that one, but there's Camden for the offensive rebound. Offensive rebound, Milos Ilic, but Stanford gets it back. Ryan Uggerwall inside to A.J. Rahosi, who lays it in.
Yeah, I love the look from Ryan Uggerwall. I mean, that's just heads-up basketball. He could have shot from three, but he found his teammate streaking to the basket. Nice look by Uggerwall.
59-51 Cal.
Well, Cal's going to stay in the zone, but they're going to try to match up out of it. They'll guard the guy in their area. They'll go through for a couple of steps with cutters.
5 to shoot, Milos Ilic. And a blocking foul called on A.J. Rahosi. Cal will shoot a 1-and-1 on the other side of the timeout. 8-point lead for California.
At Roxy, and I mean, we've had players through the years, you know, Joe Shipp, Amit Tamir, go on, Ed Gray, Randy Duck, Ryan Anderson, Jerome Randall, Theo Robertson, just to name a few. But guess what? They were all on different teams. Cal's got 4 guys in the same team that can do this. That's unique. 37%, top 20 in the country. That's getting it done.
John Camden falling away, and the rebound. There's Ryan Uggerwall for Stanford.
Now, don't look now, but a shot here can make this literally a 2-possession game with 7 to play.
Cal led by as many as 14. Aiden Camden thought about it. Ryan Uggerwall will. And too strong, but it's tipped out to Abuka Okori. Uggerwall, short on the 3. Loose ball, tracked down, Day-Day Ames for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, it's just uncharacteristic of Ryan Uggerwall. He's such a good shooter, just thinking about it too much.
He has really been struggling recently, as Ryan Uggerwall's 0 for 4 from 3 today. And the rebound slapped out, and Pippen has it. Camden fires a contested 3, trying to draw a call, and Stanford's got a 4-on-2. Okori has it knocked away. Justin Pippen, way off on the 3, and Stanford has it. 6.5 minutes to go. Cal by 8, and the Cardinal trying to trim it even further down.
Without putting Okori's hands, he says, let's get a good one, guys.
For the last 4 games, Ryan Uggerwall is 0 for 14 from 3.
Yeah, that's in his head now. That's all that is when a shooter can't shoot it.
Abuka Okori, the double clutch. Off of Okori, out of bounds, and it belongs to Cal.
Well, he's trying so hard to draw a foul. Nothing there. Cal doing a good job of backing off and not fouling.
And Kyle Smith wants to talk things over and settle his team down. 6:08 to go. 8-point lead. Cal, Stanford meeting for the 293rd time here today. Remaining. 59-51, California leading Stanford at Haas Pavilion. This place has been jumping since the outset today for this rivalry game. Cal took an early lead, has never trailed. And looking for the first season sweep of the Cardinals since 2009-2010.
Well, and it's a good sign when you look at Haas Pavilion, Roxy, and you see that student section go all the way up to the very end, the rafters. I mean, that's a great sign, and that's what this rivalry will do. That's what Cal will do if they're playing to get into the tournament. It's an exciting time of the year, and these fans are coming out to support the Bears, and obviously Stanford travels as well. A lot of fans in the red today to support the Stanford Cardinal.
The Cardinal.
the Cardinals. I don't have to get that right.
It's in their name, Ben.
I don't have to get that right. Now I sound like Bill Walton. The great Bill Walton.
Day-Day Ames. Contested jumper, and Abuko Corey. Good defense, and Stanford the rebound.
Yeah, nice rebound by Rahosi. Just sealed off Illich. Not easy. Stanford knocking on the door. They've had several opportunities to close the door.
Cal's gone cold. They've made just 2 of their last 11. Which has helped open the door for the Cardinal to try to force their way back into the game. Aiden Kamen spinning. Kamen draws a foul.
He's really impressed me this game, Roxy, with his ability to just expose his body and absorb contact. I mean, that's just a clinic. I mean, he's got good moves. He's quick. He gets by his defender with a twirl move, and he just, he shows you the ball, and then he uses his body to collect and get the foul. I mean, these are big points, whether they're from the free throw line or the perimeter. Stanford climbing back in this game. They're battling. They're not going away, and they could.
Kamen in double figures now, 3 of the last 5 games, with now 13 today. And I bring that up again because he was in double digits only once the first 22 games this season.
Well, his teams needed him, and he stepped up. He's a great kid. He thinks a lot on the court, but his best games have come when he just plays and he's in his zone.
He's starting to put it together, and so the Cardinal, they have trimmed it to 6. The closest Stanford has been since about 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Justin Pippen missing a layup. Offensive rebound, Milos Ilic. Chris Bell relocates. 3!
You say you better know where Cannon is, you better know where Chris Bell is. Another elite shooter. Cal's got 4 of them. 4 guys that will torch you if you can let them.
9 California threes now. Aiden Kamen has that one rim off, and the rebound, Day-Day Ames for the Bears.
A little breathing room now. A little breathing room for Cal if they can convert here.
Inside 10 to shoot for Justin Pippen. Fouled. He'll shoot 2 as he got Abuka Okori in the air.
Yeah, he did. He also got away with a little bit of a push-off, but referees aren't going to call that. You could see Justin Pippen getting into the paint here. Little push-off there, a little separation. No harm, no foul. And I think Justin Pippen does that as well as anybody, Roxy. He gets you in the air with his shot fake. And very poised at it, but he's, and the key to his shot fake is not to make it a huge shot fake. It's just a subtle move. You should be able to shot fake, go come down and shot and go right back up into your shot. If you shot fake too severely, you can't do that. He can.
Cal's got it back to double figures, approaching 4 minutes to play. Jeremy Dent-Smith down the lane, deflected out by Chris Bell. Stanford ball, 3:53 to go, and Cal's responded after Stanford made a push.
Yeah, how do you like Cal from 3? You better like them because they know what they're doing. They'll dial it up, and somebody's home. Cal Bears from downtown.
Take a look at the ACC standings, and Cal trying to move up as they came into today tied for 9th. Stanford tied for 13th heading into the day. Of course, Duke has that big, attractive non-conference matchup against Michigan in Washington, D.C. Stick around after the ball game. The Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC. Highlights, analysis of every men's hoops game. Look ahead of the best matchups on the schedule this upcoming week. And also a full look at that Duke-Michigan game in the nation's capital. Off the inbound, Jeremy Dent-Smith had a good look, and here comes Justin Pippen racing up the floor. Chris Bell glides in.
I like that, Roxy. I mean, they could pull it out and run clock, but when you have numbers, you use them. That 2 points in transition could be a dagger.
17 each for Bell, Day-Day Ames, and John Camden. as A.J. Rahosi in the offensive glass, but first there was a foul, and Aiden Kamen got knocked down.
Yeah, you know that Mark Madsen has taken this team this year and he's turned it into a transition team. This is the quickest his teams have played since he's been at Cal. And they made a commitment in the offseason to just try to get it up the floor quicker, tone up their defense where they trap ball screens now. They're trying to generate some easier baskets. Didn't feel he had easy enough baskets a year ago. But when his three-point shooters can shoot it, those are pretty easy looks.
Fourth foul on Milos Ilic, but Aiden Kamen struggles as the line continue. As Kamen is now 7 for 14 from the stripe.
Yeah, he's not a bad free throw shooter, about 70%, but he's just struggled here. But he's playing more minutes. Fatigue's going to set in. And again, sometimes it gets into your head. You know, free throws a lot of times are mental.
And Kamen gets the second. Up 12 with the ball, inside 3.5 to go, and Cal is in no hurry.
No, you know, they're facing a zone. They don't need to be worried about pressure. They just need to take care of the ball and shoot it late on the clock.
Spinning, Milos Ilic working down low. Ilic a jump hook.
Nice move by the big fella. Good boys.
And Cal has matched their largest lead of the game. Benny Keeler left open. 3.
Well, Cal's, might be a little too late, but Benny Keeler is sizing it up. He can do that.
Fourth 3 for Keeler. And the lead is 11 for California. And here's the deliberate look from Cal again to burn some clock before initiating the offense.
Yeah, it's tough because you say normally you'd foul a team to get back in the game. And you got guys shooting in the 80s. I mean, just phenomenal free throw shooters.
And a steal for A.J. Rahosi. Abuka Okori. Deep 3. And the rebound batted free, and it's Ryan Uggerwall underneath. Pump fake, Uggerwall, blocked, got it back, and a foul on California.
Well, if you like to see a clinic down low, watch Cal and Ilic with the spin move. Really doing a good job isolating one-on-one, touch, teardrop over the top. He's really been a really welcome addition in Lee Dort's absence this year as Milos Ilic.
First point of the game for Ryan Uggerwall, who's been struggling recently. He came up huge in their win against North Carolina. And he missed the second. The rebound, Milos Ilic. And with 2 minutes to go, up 10 with the ball. Here comes Justin Pippen.
Yeah, and here's where you have to think about fouling if you want any chance to climb back in. You can't allow Cal to burn 30 seconds each time down. But who do you foul? That's a dilemma. Probably Ilic.
Backdoor for Bell. Broken up. The hands of Ryan Uggerwall forcing a turnover.
No, don't go anywhere yet.
Down low, Aiden Kamen. Fouled and 1 for Kamen. No, they're going to wave it off. Basket interference.
Well, he held on to the rim, Roxy, because I think he was trying to protect himself from falling. That's at least my argument if I'm coaching him. I don't know. I mean, that's a legitimate argument to me, and Kyle Smith's making it. I don't know that you can call that a technical foul. If you get hit and fouled, you can grab the rim. I'm sorry. I mean, Kyle Smith has a point. He has a very good point.
Milos Ilic called for his 5th foul. He is fouled out. And Kyle Smith still pleading his case.
Well, he
is ticked off over there on the sideline.
I happen to agree with him. I'm not taking sides. I just see a play and I call it like I see it. But if you get hit, you can grab the rim.
And this is what he's upset about. Aiden Kamen pulls the rim down after the shot was going up.
Well, I think he was hanging on the rim. You could argue about pulling it down. I mean, I don't think he's trying to pull it down as much as he is hanging after he gets fouled. So
But the problem for Kyle Smith, the ball hadn't gone through, was in the cylinder area when Kaman was hanging on the rim.
Well, they're not going to get the calls. You got to play on, and that's tough. That would have been a three-point play. That would have been a much-needed three-point play. You still got to play the foul game here. You can't allow Cal to burn the entirety of the clock. But again, who do you foul? Really difficult. Probably coaching this if you're going to get somebody.
Chris Bell fouled on a three, and that's not the foul Ben Braun was talking about.
No, it's got to be on the floor. Roxy, Cal is shooting on the year 78%. How good is that? 78%. That's top.
11th best in the country.
There you go. You answered my question. You got to be careful when you're playing a team, and Chris Bell, who is shooting 90 most of this year, by the way, and now he's shooting in the mid-80s, but he's just bottoms from the free throw line. And Cal can put themselves in position if they can be up late game situations. Cal can put away a lot of games at this free throw line. It's great to have great free throw shooters, and Mark Madsen and his staff know they've got a really good free throw shooting team.
And the problem at the other end of the floor, the Cardinal have gone cold. They're just 1 for their last 10 from the field.
Yeah, and that's, credit to Cal's defense as well. But Stanford look back and say, look, we had shots, we didn't shoot with confidence, we didn't make it. But Cal's had a lot to do with that.
Final minute. Ryan Agarwal. Deep three from Benny Geeler. In and out. And the back tap by Aiden Kaman will stay at this end. A California foul with 49.5 to go.
Well, assuming Cal holds on here, and it appears they will, Roxy, this is a big win. And it's not so much just the win, it's kind of how they played, because they've got 2 more home games coming up. And they're against, SMU, which is a good team, and Andy Enfield, as we know, and Pitt. And if you can get those 2 games, you really put yourself in position to be in a position to qualify for the NCAA tournament.
Coming up for Cal, here's what you're alluding to, Ben. SMU is here Wednesday, then Pitt next Saturday. Cal will close out the regular season at Georgia Tech and at Wake Forest.
Yeah, and those are games they can win on the road, but you don't think about those games. Those games will not mean anything if they don't take care of business at home. And so the SMU game is big. And why is that big? Because they're a good team, and Andy Enfield's fighting for his team. I mean, he wants the same thing Cal wants, and he's a good coach. He's got a good team, and they got a player by the name of Boopy Miller. And if you haven't seen him, stay tuned. I mean, he's tough. But Cal needs to, win, and they're coming off, if they win this game, off of a good game.
And then SMU had the big win against Boston College earlier today. And Andy Enfield's team right now, the latest Joe Lunardi bracketology, has them firmly in the field.
So give Cal, a big check mark if they can win that game. That puts Cal probably in. And Joey Brackets, everybody's listening to Joey Brackets.
And again, the latest bracketology, this has been updated throughout the day by Joe Lunardi. He constantly is updating and reworking his formula. So Cal moved from the next 4 to the first 4 out during the course of the day. That's without the result here today. SMU, Andy Enfield's team at 9. Miami moved up to an 8 seed, even with their loss.
I know.
And Virginia's won 8 straight. Duke firmly on the 1 line. Carolina got that win at Syracuse. That was the picture for the ACC with, again, 2 more weeks still in the regular season.
Well, let's give a shout out right now, Roxy, to the ACC #1, because this has just been a banner year. You're going to have multiple teams in the tournament, and all these teams that we're talking about are good enough to beat teams in the NCAA tournament. Trust me.
And contrary to what Bill Walton would say over the years, Ben, Joe Lunardi does not live in a cave. He doesn't.
No, Joe Lunardi is I mean, my phone's blowing up. I got him on, he's got me on his phone, and
a turnover by Cal, and it goes over to Stanford with 46.5 to go, and Pippen is slow to get up.
Well, if you're Stanford, you can knock down a shot. It's then maybe a 2-possession game. Stranger things have happened, and Cal needs this win, Roxy. They can ill afford to put Stanford in position here.
And Stanford also needing this win today. Now, it's probably more critical for Cal because they're at home. But Stanford is under consideration by Joe Lunardi at 16-10 and 4 quad 1 wins for the Cardinal. Jeremy Dent-Smith. Stanford needs to go quickly. Benny Keeler steps into a three. He's fouled by Day-Day Ames.
Yeah, smart play by Benny Keeler. I mean, really smart play by Benny. If that's a play you want to let go, make Benny Keeler hit the fadeaway three. I mean, you got to have foul discipline, Roxy. I know Mark Madsen not happy on the bench with that. You just don't want to put, you know, a player like Benny Keeler at the free throw line. Why? Because he is one of the top free throw shooters.
89%, 2 more for Keeler. Stanford has struggled, just 34% from the floor, 8 for 26 from 3 in the ballgame. But they're also below 60% from the line. Now that free throw made by Benny Keeler puts them above 60%.
Well, I got a solution.
But this is a good foul shooting team on the year.
Rox, I got a solution to getting your percentages. Put better free throw shooters on the line. You put Benny Keeler on there, your percentages go up. He's lethal. You know, Stanford still has hit SMU, as does Cal. Then they go on the road in an odd format, and they play Notre Dame and North Carolina State, which is not who Cal plays. And that's kind of probably a little tougher slate for Stanford if they can, you know, continue to win. There's a football formation. I love it.
And it comes into Day-Day Ames. And a steal for the Cardinal, Ryan Agarwal. Agarwal has a shot block. Aiden Kamen cleans it up. And it's down to 5. They trap Chris Bell, and a whistle. Timeout, California. 26.5 to go, and Stanford has cut it to 5.
Roxy, how about just the fight from the Stanford team? You know, you thought this game was over. Everybody in the gym thought this game was over. Stanford didn't. I mean, they're still battling. My goodness. You know, this is a tough play to play against because the football formation usually allows you to cross and come back to the ball. But nobody really crossed over, and then coffin corner, and great play by Agarwal to be there and get the steal. I mean, wow. I mean, what fight from Stanford. I mean, they could have just packed this up.
Aiden Kamen is tied a career high with 19. And part of this Stanford comeback to get it to 5. 26.5 seconds to go on an alternating possession. If it gets a tie-up, it belongs to Cal. You saw the foul situation. Stanford's committed 8. So one more 1-and-1 if Stanford elects to foul.
And what you don't want to do if you're Stanford is allow anybody to get over the top of you.
Tough spot to throw the ball in for John Camden.
Yeah,
and that's the guy you want to foul, and Benny Keeler grabs Montes Cochinis immediately.
I like that.
And a 1-and-1.
And Mark Madsen kind of has his hands on his hips like, come on, you other 85% free throw shooters, come to the ball. Because you're really not going to, you're going to have to foul. And we mentioned Cal being 78 from the line, top 10, top 11 in the country. But now you've got Cochinis at the line who's, you know, not a bad free throw shooter, but he's not been there a ton this year.
Third foul on Benny Keeler. And Cal, as a team, 18 for 20 from the line. Montes Cochinis, 2 for 3 from the line today.
If you're Cal,
and a 1-and-1.
You don't want to go over the back and give Stanford anything this way either.
And the miss. But John Camden grabs an offensive rebound.
Well, they're asking for a push-off.
Do I dare say that's a cardinal sin to allow that to happen?
I like that. Now, I understood that one, Rox. But, you know, that's unusual because, yeah, I mean, that's such a long, I mean, there was a push-off. There's definitely, Camden has a point. There was 2 hands in his back. But if you're there, you've got to secure that. And you got to root out. And what do you mean by root out? You got to drive your defender out of the paint, out of the lane. They're not going to call that. But
4th on Benny Keeler, 1 more for John Camden, who missed the first. And regardless of what happens here, it's still a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
And the 2-shot bonus with the 10th team foul.
Here you go. If you're Stanford, you got to be quick. You got to be in a hurry.
Ryan Agarwal. Benny Keeler fires from deep. Jeremy Dent-Smith, the offensive rebound, gets it to Abuko Corey. Off balance 3, missed everything. Loose ball, DeJuan Campbell out of the pack for Cal. And that will do it. And California has held on for a 72-66 win. And for the first time since 2009-10, they have swept Stanford on the season series.
Well, you got to give Cal credit, Roxy. They made things close at the end, but there was a cushion there, and that's because Cal answered the bell. They shot it with authority today. Great effort by the Cal Bears over a very game Stanford.
Final score, California 72, Stanford 66. We get into the studio and nothing but net.